What's up, YouTube? We're at the Skilsaw booth here at the World of Concrete for 2020. Guess who I bumped into? Some old friends, Craig and Sarah. We're gonna take a look at some new offerings. You're not gonna wanna miss this. Right, Sarah?
Yeah, you don't want to miss it. You should subscribe.
It's the best.
Tap the bell. All right, you ready?
We have 2 units. Okay, so this was the first one that we launched. It was 7 1/4, basically. It looks like a worm drive, right?
Sure.
But it now has a lot of modifications for concrete. So what we started to see is in our return centers, all these worm drives covered in concrete. And we're like, okay, so people are doing this, let's learn, right? And what are the problems that you run into? How do you actually properly cut? So when you're cutting wood, you enter the wood.
Yes.
When you're cutting concrete,
You plunge.
So we integrated a plunge mechanism here. So you just drop it right in, it locks.
Okay.
And then you push and roll forward.
Okay.
That's the other thing. You want straight lines, right? So we put a wheel escape system. You can buy these all aftermarket, but now it's all integrated into it.
It's funny, people ask me all the time, what do I think about throwing on a diamond blade or a abrasive blade, or even metal cutting blades on my worm drive skill saws? And I tell them, me personally, when you start doing that, I would have to designate a specific tool because the shoe starts to get jagged, and I use my worm drives for finish work.
Exactly.
I don't want to mar my material. This is great. You have a designated concrete cutting solution.
Right, and what we found, like, our worm drives are designed for wood.
Yes.
So there are different things that happen when you have concrete dust constantly in there. Dust, obviously a big deal. This is the first time we integrated dust collection into a saw, right? So this has not only hook up to a vacuum, we have a separate station where you can do the water feed as well.
So I want to get this straight, because I think I heard something. I just want you to clarify. The Medusaw was the first time you put dust collection into the worm drive line.
That's correct.
Before wood.
Yep.
So this saw, and I will say this implementation does a great job of collecting whatever it is.
This is where we learned how to do that.
Awesome.
So we learned, and to your point, so we had the dust collection, you hook it up to a vacuum, great, but a lot of people like the water feed. It does actually a little bit better job, and it helps make the blade last a little bit longer.
Okay.
So it also comes with the feed, and we got a separate demo over there, we'll walk you through that too. But you have your option, dry or wet.
I will say this, just glancing at this tool, it looks as though the motor housing, and it could be my imagination, does look a little larger. Is this motor specific to the Medusaw, or is this?
Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure it's the one we use in our 8 1/4, which is a little bit larger.
Okay.
But it's generally the same motor design.
Gotcha.
So we use what's called a dual field motor. We wind the coils in a way that separates them so that they cool down, but we do have different sizes of them for different saws so that they can be built for the application.
Gotcha. Mind if I feel this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Feels nice.
One thing about this too, it's kind of cool.
Yes.
You preset it, right? So depending on how
It's pretty funny what you just did and what I just did. So whenever my skill saws, if we're working in an area like that's not grass or I freak. I never want anybody to put my saw down on concrete, because I'm like, you're gonna scuff my shoe.
Exactly.
So when you grabbed it, I was like, ah. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I mean, your saw. You can do whatever you want with it.
This one's for concrete. This one's made for this. But just wanted to point out here. So the depth gauge looks a little different than a wood one, right?
Okay.
So you just line it up to 1/4 inch all the way down to 2 inches.
Okay.
And then so let's do like an inch. We'll do, or 3/4 inch. So you keep it loose. You lock it in.
Okay.
So now the blade is above the surface, and then when you're ready to cut, it'll just clip in. So you sink it in.
I want to see that again.
All right. So you just go straight down, and it clicks in.
I gotcha. So I wanted to force the tool to see the limits, you know, how quickly we could make that cut at this depth. Handled it pretty well.
Well, and look at this, like, look how straight and accurate.
Oh, beautiful.
You're not doing anything with a grinder or a cutoff saw where you're kind of bouncing up and down on your depth. I mean, that's a perfect cut for a sidewalk to do your concrete relief.
I have a question. When using this, would there be any reason that you would suggest doing a partial depth cut and then continuing with a second cut at the full depth that you would need? Or I wanted to possibly continue this cut at the full 2 inches of depth?
If you need full 2 inches, like, so the more of the blade that gets sunk in, the better your dust collection. So I would recommend just going straight to the full depth that you want.
So you're saying if you needed 2 inches, go 2 inches.
Go straight for it.
All right, well, let's do that.
All right.
Let's do that. This is how easy the depth change is, right? Literally, so we would just slide to whatever depth we need.
All the way down to your 2.
2 inches is here.
Yep.
And then we lock down. Boom. And then this saw, in case we didn't get it the first time, right? We would just push down.
Yep, and it'll plunge all the way in.
And lock in to our full 2 inches of depth. I'm gonna start out here if you don't mind, right? And then I wanna do the full plunge.
So that dust collection is unbelievable.
So that's pretty amazing. The dust collection at full depth, amazing. Here's the deal. I don't think that we've talked about this at any other time we've been together. Can you tell us about that flex vacuum?
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, look at it. If you didn't have dust collection,
oh, you're done. Especially with all the new OSHA rules, right? That stuff's terrible for you. So make sure you either use your vacuum, use your water collection. You need it for sure.
can you? I want to tell us all about that flex vac, because it's one thing to like the nice shiny saw, but nobody really wants to think about the. I'll just hook it up to any vacuum. The reality is, all that particulate, a standard vacuum is going to clog. The filters are going to clog.
For sure.
And then guess what happens? If it's not sucking the particulate out of the air, right? If it's not able to do it, then you have that particulate. You might as well not even use a vacuum at that point.
Yeah.
What is this thing?
So this is our. We have 2 different varieties. There's a.
So Flex is a Skilsaw brand. Tell us about Flex.
So the parent company is Shervan.
Okay.
They own brands like Ego and Skilsaw we're looking at today. They also own the Flex brand.
Flex. That's a German brand?
It is a German brand, so you know the highest quality engineering that you would expect from any German brand.
Okay.
Right, so we have a line of vacuums that we launched here about 2 years ago, and the idea here was that we knew, partnered with all this, you know, dust collection becoming much bigger thing for cutting, right? That we needed a vacuum to support the system. So instead of launching one, we just made the brand that already had one in its portfolio compatible with all the Skill product that's coming out.
Okay.
So, so this is the 44 liter or the 33 liter and the 44. As you can see, its bigger brother is right over here.
Oh, okay.
Different sizes of them. One of the really cool thing about it is, you know, like some other vacuums in the industry, but you plug your tool right in here.
So you plug the vacuum in,
Yep.
then plug the tool into the vacuum.
And then when you power up the tool, the vacuum powers up as well. And
So that mode, it's on only when the tool comes on. It'll run briefly after the tool goes off.
Yep, exactly, to keep it on your tool clean as well.
Now, you don't have to run in that mode. You could run in the on mode and the vacuum will just come on, correct?
Correct.
How come it didn't come on?
That's off. There you go. So then you can see what it's doing there. It's tapping, plug up either.
So it has a feature where
it bangs the drum.
It will bang that filter. Instead of taking out that filter and banging it manually and holding up the job, this vacuum bangs it for you inside.
It does all the dirty work for you.
That's pretty amazing.
So yeah, so we have both these varieties. This is the 33 liter, which is roughly, I believe, a 9 gallon, and then the 44, which is roughly an 11 gallon.
Now, does it take special filters or?
Just your standard HEPA filters.
So a standard HEPA filter. So it's not like some crazy filters that are going to cost $1 million that you have to replace.
Definitely not.
Let me ask you this question. How, because of that banging feature, like how many cuts can we get through, do you think, before we have to clean a filter or get rid of a filter or empty this? I mean, I guess know it'll vary, but do you have any kind of idea?
So I try to equate it to what we're doing, right? So we'll cut here all day long, and that's extreme, right?
Yes.
You know, normally you're cutting like a couple cuts on a sidewalk or a slab, and we'll have to change the filter at the end of the day, right? So, you know, we'll do significant cutting on a heavy day, and we'll clean it just to make sure it's running top notch.
Right.
But if you're using it occasionally, you're going to get, you know.
So you're telling me that this vacuum does such a good job of cleaning its own filters and all. You can pretty much cut maybe all these red lines out. You have to change that filter at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we talk about 2-inch depth of cut. If you really need a little bit more,
yes,
you can always take the wheels off and you can go straight to the slab.
Wow.
So that gets you another 1/4 inch. The wrench lines up and you're good to go. So you could take the wheels off or even replace them if you need to. Same blade wrench that operates this as well.
Now this wheel, what's it?
7-inch diamond blade.
Who makes this? Is this?
So we are working to offer a Skilsaw set of diamond blades as well. But right now, you know, it does not come with one.
It does not come with a wheel.
Yeah, and the reason being is there's too much variation. So when you cut wood, it's pretty straightforward, right? You're doing your dimensional lumber, and you know you either want a ripping blade or not.
Okay.
When it comes to this, you know, you have segmented, turbo. What's your depth of cut? Are you going for life? Are you going for speed?
Okay.
So we basically said, leave that up to the person who's operating. They're going to know best of what type of accessory they need so that they can get the right blade going for their job right away.
Now I have a question. Do you have a recommended? You have a list of recommended?
We really do leave it up to.
Leave it all up.
So the user knows best in this case. We don't want to put a blade in there and add cost for a blade that you may never touch. All right, so this is great, right? But you don't always want to be on your hands and knees, right? You're doing a sidewalk. You only need to go 3 feet.
Right.
Perfect, right? But say you want to do a 50-foot run.
Yes.
Right? This is not your ideal tool to do a 50-foot run. You want to be upright and operating. So that's where we came out with this one. So a year later, we launched what we call the Medusaw walk behind. So it's its bigger brother, has an extended folding arm. So first,
wow.
It'll go away, fits in a small bag. So, and then pops right back into place. You're good to go. So adjustable height for the short people like me.
And me.
Other people like it a little longer. And it essentially operates the same way. 7-inch diamond blade. Now, instead of being a plunge where you push down,
okay,
you set your depth again beforehand.
I want to see this.
So you set your depth.
Oh, and you lower it down.
Yep. So say you want it at a 1 inch, you lock it straight in. So now we're at 1 inch depth. So there's 2 ways to enter. Some people like to go from the front and straight down, or you can pivot from the back. Same idea again. You got a front pointer, your 3 points of contact, and then your final off the inside of this wheel will give you your line. So blade, wheel, blade, wheel.
All right, so I want to see this.
Lock it in.
Oh, we're at 1.5 inches.
All right, 1.5 inches. All right. Get yourself up straight up now if you want to. I would recommend.
Whoa, we just set it up for the short guy. Unbelievable. You're the best, Craig.
so much easier when you're standing upright to go long distances. So one thing that you did notice, right? As you're plunging in, it's really, really tough to collect all that dust up front. But once you're in, it does a great job.
Absolutely.
But if you do want even better dust suppression, I'd recommend water feed, which is what we have set up over here. So both these units are the exact same.
So these are the same units. We're just using a different method to suppress that airborne silica dust.
Exactly.
We're using water over here.
So this comes with the unit that's sold. It just attaches underneath, and there's a little fork that goes around both sides of the blade. So just gives just enough water to keep the blade wet and lubricated. And again, it'll run longer. You get more life out of the blade on a wet blade, as well as you keep that dust like to nothing, next to nothing. And then, of course, in this scenario, you don't want to use the vacuum as well. So, a little towel to a water feed, so you just turn this on.
Okay.
And then, same exact operation. You're going to plunge, so we can set this to say.
We're gonna set it to 2.
All right, go
because we like it set full depth.
Okay.
How's that feel?
And the one other thing that we did, because when you add water, you got safety, right? So a built-in GFCI, none of that aftermarket stuff.
Right. Here's the deal. If you had GFCI that was not built into the cord, then you might have an instance where you forget that protection, and you could have an unsafe situation. They built it in. Safety first.
All right, so when you do this one, turn the water on.
Yes.
You get a little thing.
Oh,
That's
nice.
all you get. So sometimes I've seen people, they take a hose and they run a hose down here, and then you're standing in a pool of water 5 minutes later. So just enough water. So let's get you lined up right here on your cut. When you're ready, and you've got it all organized, turn on your water, get your blade going. Perfect. No dust.
We're ready for our next cut.
Exactly. Good to go.
I will tell you this much. I almost felt like I was able to progress through the cut quicker with the water than
Yeah, I feel it cuts a little faster.
it does seem to cut a little faster.
Yeah, but I would prefer water almost every time. There are just certain situations where you can't make a big mess, right? If you can't do that, then
Absolutely.
you got the other option.
Yes, the vacuum.
So,
Awesome.
so this system and setup is the exact same that you see on the walk behind. So again, we took the same thing. You get your options on both. So it's really no different, but the idea is that you can run both systems.
So you could stand up. It's adjustable in size,
Yep.
and they're easily the operation is unbelievably easy.
Yeah, I mean, the wheels help you make a nice straight cut, rolls right along. It's all about accuracy, depth of cuts, preset, so it takes all the guesswork out of trying to do it with a one drive.
They're unbelievably effortless. Matter of fact, Caitlin, can you do us a favor?
Yes.
Can you cut us a nice straight line with the stand-up
Yes.
Medusaw, please? I have a question.
Yes.
When you're operating, don't fall on us now. So, Caitlin, when you're operating, do you feel there's a difference in performance from the watered version to the vacuum version? You think one cuts faster than the other? You notice any difference?
Not really, but I think that this one cuts smoother. It feels better with the wet for me.
Awesome, we appreciate that. Thank you for the demo.
No problem, thank you.
So that's the Medusaw walk behind. You got two options. You got your original handheld, you know, you want to work at your surface level. If you want longer cuts, you get the upright version. Both of them have everything you need to cut straight. You got your dust collection, water dry, GFCI, your skate plate, all built right in. You're good to go. Everything you need for concrete scoring.
Is it bad for me to tell you that I feel like an old Italian lady? You know, even though they had, like, old Italian ladies, for some reason, they had mops and all kinds of stuff, the brooms, they would still get down on their hands and knees and scrub with a rag or, you know, I like actually getting down and using the hand. I don't know, it's just me.
Hey, you got both.
But we have an option, and if you like options, when you need to cut some concrete, smash the like button, get subscribed, and tap the bell, because you never know when Craig might be showing us something new and innovative in the future. You're not going to want to miss it. With that, I want to say I appreciate Craig for taking some time with us. We'll see you on the next one, everybody. Video's over, but I know you want more. So this is how you're going to get it. First thing you need to do is pretend you're this guy, and you're here at the birthplace of freedom. Now ring that bell like it's 1776 and let all notifications through. What? You're not subscribed yet? Well, smash this button here. After that, watch this video here, and maybe over here. See you later.